Hello everyone, welcome back to the show. We're here at Schmooze 2010 at the City Winery in New York City, a place where artists can learn from each other and collaborate. Let's take a look. Alright, so we're here at the Schmooze 2010. This has been a tremendous event. How did you get involved in the Schmooze?
Well, I've been coming since the very first one. I live in Israel now, but when the first one happened, I lived in New York. I heard about it and was curious. I wanted to hear what people were talking about in the arts, meet some people who worked in Jewish arts and culture, which I aspired to do, and now I do. So since I've been coming every year, it was a natural that I'd come to 2010.
How did you get involved?
Well, I actually, as a writer, am very interested in following Jewish arts and creative expression, and actually happened to know David Franklin, the executive director of IJPA, the International Jewish Presenters Association, from his time when he used to live in California. And it was sort of a synchronistic event where I heard about Schmooze, called up because I wanted to volunteer to be involved, and realized that the person at the helm was an old friend.
Yeah, and that's great. And this event, for me, has just been amazing in a sense that you get to meet so many different people with so many different interesting ideas. And the coming together of this it's just so important, and creativity is really created.
It's really true. It's amazing to see what happens here and the relationships that are formed, the ways that presenters find out about new and emerging artists or older established artists and their new projects. And all the events that come out of this are really, really very dramatic. You know, I met someone yesterday who I helped bring to the event and did his performance, and then told me that a venue asked him to do a series of performances at their venue over several nights. So it's not even like a one-off concert. It's a relationship that builds and builds.
Right. And you've been in the arts for a number of years. You're an accomplished journalist, and you have your own unique and incredible book. And tell us a little bit about how you came to write Cool Jew.
Well, I wrote the book, Cool Jew, the ultimate guide for every member of the tribe, after writing several articles. And one was for the Forward, and one was for the San Francisco Chronicle. And those articles just came about in my work as a freelance journalist, keeping tabs on things that are happening in the Jewish world. And I noticed that this trend was unfolding of creative Jewish expression in the form of music and t-shirts and films and other books. And I realized that it would make a fun article to talk about the cool Jews in San Francisco and their different activities. I didn't call them cool Jews in the article, and I didn't even call them what I came to call them in my book, which are heapsters. That's my preferred term for a super Jew. I didn't even use those terms, but I was just looking at Jews doing innovative and creative work.
So we have seen a lot over the years of keffiyehs, and there are a lot of people who are now interested in wearing keffiyehs for fashion. And you've done something very interesting with keffiyehs. Tell us a little about what you've done.
Well, as you said, keffiyehs have become quite fashionable. You can actually see them in the runways. Balenciaga did a show with keffiyehs-inspired scarves, and so I've been seeing them for a few years, and I really I had a mixed reaction to seeing these kind of things in terms of what they represent, what people are saying by them, what they're not saying when they're just fashion. And I decided to make a Israeli keffiyeh, a keffiyeh that shows the Jewish pride, says Am Yisrael Chai on it, and it's said in a language that's very profound if you read between the lines, and it's spoken in a language that in some ways in our adversaries and/or our cousins, so to speak, in the form of a keffiyeh.
So it's been a wonderful 2 days at this conference. How do you get this all together?
So, who would believe that the center of Jewish culture is actually in Cleveland, Ohio? So that's where I live. And through a lot of support from volunteers, through the help of Michael Dorf's vision and his support, it takes a lot of support and a lot of advice from other presenters around the country who introduce me to artists and help shape what their needs are in terms of what they're looking for. It's really an exciting place to be. This is the 4th year that we've done the Schmooze Conference, and the model is to kind of build it upon APAP, and that's how we schedule it. And I think it's incredibly rewarding to be, we think, at the heart of Jewish life.
And one of the things that I love about this whole conference is that you have so many different people that are doing so many creative things, coming together to share ideas, connect, and hopefully go out and make some amazing things together.
Yeah. So John Risquet of UJA New York, a long time ago, he wrote an article about how we need to create communities that sear our soul. And I think that's what that's what we're trying to do here in this community of artists and presenters. And I think that's really speaking to the power of what art can do. We're in a new generation of Jews who are connecting to their Judaism in vastly different ways, their notion of community, their notion of self-expression. The possibilities are endless. And we're trying to find a tension between what is new and what is old and vast and deep and wise and timeless. And I don't think I ever understood, if someone has a dream of being an artist, how much it means for them to be a business person, and how hard and isolating and discouraging and emotionally taxing the whole thing can be. If Schmooze can be support, a sanctuary, an infrastructure to help them find work, then I think it's really done something.
Yeah, and I've spoken to a bunch of people here, and they've been so happy and making these connections that they might have not had otherwise. And it's just like it's really a foundation for people to really find the mutual interests, so that the ideas can come alive.
Yeah. What's amazing, having grown up in the Midwest and living in the Midwest now, one can think that Jewish life is New York-centric. And there's so many wise, interesting, exciting things happening here, but also all over the country. And one of the things we like about Schmooze, we want the boundaries of Schmooze to be quite low. Sometimes you may feel you have to be the right person to get into this conference or this organization. And we, it's a big tent, and we're excited to have people, invite more people to the table.
Shalom Aleinu, Shalom Aleinu, Ve'akol Yisrael ve'imru, Amen. And if you got that, you can sing it on the next time through. Oh, say Shalom Ramah, say Shalom Aleinu, Ve'akol Yisrael ve'imru, Amen. Third time's a charm. Come on, sing now. Oh, say Shalom Ramah, say Shalom Aleinu, Ve'akol Yisrael ve'imru,